Hey, what's up, y'all? Let's hop right into it. Andrew Schulz has an epiphany about Charlie Kirk. All right, let's get it.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Wild times. Wild times when people celebrate people getting killed now. Like, that never happened before. Like, even when someone bad got killed before, you're like, oh, wow, that's kind of crazy.
I've been thinking a lot about this.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, I don't think we all exist in the same reality anymore. Not on some multiverse shit,
right?
But like, just like how
we see the world.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's like, especially with Charlie's death, because I was in Australia when it happened, so like I had time. Like I wasn't doing pods, I wasn't doing stand-up, I'm just like sitting around in a trailer under this movie, so I like started watching like a bunch of his stuff. Also, I want to say he did something really cool. Like I didn't really know him, but like DM'd a couple times, but he saw a headline about me once, and he DM'd me. And like, I don't even have a relationship with this guy. He goes, this headline looks a little weird. Like, I know we don't really know each other, but like, is this what you meant? And like, there are people who I know I've considered colleagues that haven't even afforded that to me.
Yeah.
They just ran with a headline and like made a video, got clicks, views, or whatever like that.
Right.
Like, this guy I don't even know hits me up and goes, is this what you meant?
Yeah.
Very cool.
I
Anyway.
met him once at a gun range.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I met him at Terran Tactical. So I was down there training. You know, do you know what Terran
This is
Tactical
the one where you see like a lot of like
yes,
celebs.
the one where you see celebs. He trained Keanu Reeves for John Wick. He's the man. Like Taron Butler is like a multiple-time world champion shooter of those, you know, the events that they have where it's timed or shooter ready.
Yeah.
So I met him there. He seemed like a real nice guy. You know, I didn't know anything about him back then. I didn't know much about his beliefs and views that were controversial until after he got killed. And then people started sending me stuff, and I was like, okay, what's the context of this? He shouldn't have said it that.
That's real. I didn't either. I didn't know things he said, like if his daughter got raped, he would be okay. He would make her have the baby, and he said that. He said that the gun deaths are okay in this country as long as we need the Second Amendment. So gun deaths are okay, which means no one should be really tripping about his death because he thinks that gun deaths are okay. Right before he died, he was mentioning something about black on black crime. Well, you got unalived by white on white crime, so why aren't we talking about that? You know, there was a lot of things. When he said black women, he felt like black women aren't as intelligent, you know, aren't that intelligent, or black pilots he wouldn't trust because he doesn't think they're qualified, and is a lot of controversial things that he said, you know, that I learned about a little later too. I still don't think the man should have got unalived. I don't care what anybody says on that point. I think getting unalived in front of your children is fucking crazy. But I didn't learn about none of it too. So let's see what their things are.
That way, there were some ones that we've talked about before. One specifically, you know, but look, the fucking guy, first of all, was 31 years old.
Yeah.
All right. When I was 31, thank God there wasn't like Twitter, or especially when I was 21. Oh my God, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God. You know, judging like that. That's like that Nick Fuentes kid. He's like 26. Like, thank God. It didn't exist when I was fucking 21.
Dude, yeah.
I was a fucking moron. I was a complete moron, like most people, especially if you grow up around morons.
Yeah.
But I think he said a few things that if I was his friend, I would say, don't say it like that. I know what you're trying to say, but don't ever say, when I go into a cockpit, I hope that the pilot, if he's black, is qualified. I know what you're trying to say. You shouldn't hire underqualified pilots.
Yeah.
But saying it like that,
just because of the color of their skin.
He's probably not hanging out with black people, not knowing how offensive that's going to be for them. How you got to go, that's not what I meant. Like, you gotta, that's not what I meant before you say it.
Yeah.
You got to run it through the filter like, what am I trying to say?
Yeah.
We all don't want unqualified people to do dangerous fucking jobs, period. Doesn't matter what race they are. If all of a sudden white people became a minority and they had to start hiring dopey whites,
we'd be upset. And he makes that argument a lot. Like, he makes it with sports. You know, he's like, all right, if the NFL is going to be 50% black, and you know, like, so. But again, like, the context is taken out.
Yes.
And I think that's what happened. Like, the algorithm flattens all of us into a two-dimensional person.
Yeah, it does.
And like, only the views that tap into you know, your biggest insecurities, your biggest fears. Not the views, only like the lines we say or the videos, whatever, that tap into those things.
Or with terrible things you want confirmed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The things you won't confirm. Like, that's what the algorithm does. And, like, I realized it when I was doing, like, a promo tour for Life, my last special, right? I would go on a couple pods that, like, and, like, maybe, like, 10, 15, 20 minutes into the conversation, I would realize, like, oh, wow, they have a very different view of me than me.
The New York Times one.
No, well, the New York Times one, I was, like, expecting it for sure. But even when I went on Dax's podcast, Dax knew me. But his co-host, I was like, oh, she has an idea of me that's, like, cultivated by the internet and headlines.
Cartoonish.
Exactly. And it's just a flattened version, right? It's like, there's really no humanity in it. It's just, these are the things that people are saying that I'm saying with no context.
Right.
And then you just create an archetype. And, like, I think in a lot of ways that's the Charlie thing to the furthest extreme, right? It's just like, if you're on the right, there's one version of Charlie. If you're on the left, there's another version of Charlie.
Right.
And when he died, this person that you saw as like a good, God-fearing man, you're like heartbroken by it. And then on the left, this person you saw that was like bigoted or hateful, you're like, okay, I'm not really heartbroken by it. Some people are even crazy enough to be like, he deserved it, or this is what you get, right? But they can only have that feeling if he's completely dehumanized the version of him that they see all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That happens to you, it happens to me, it happens to like anybody who's on the internet talking, you know, for a few hours a week. And when I saw that shit, and especially I saw like this visceral reaction to Charlie, that's what sows the insanity in the country, because the people on the left are seeing the people on the right be heartbroken, but they're like, why are you heartbroken over this guy who's a bigot? And the people on the right are seeing the people on the left celebrating. They're like, why are you celebrating the death of this God-fearing family man? And both sides just think each other is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
When in reality, he's neither of those cartoons.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
That was beautifully said. Because here's the thing, man. What we get of somebody on the internet and what the person actually is can be two totally different things. And us not understanding that the internet is sometimes... It locks us into these echo chambers of places that we go and be like, okay, this is what we heard, this is what we didn't hear. Who knows what, like, if the context behind it was that you don't want unprofessional people, you don't want people who, which probably was maybe, but if you don't want unqualified people to be in dangerous job positions, there's nothing wrong with that. Who does want that? You know what I mean? You said blacks though, but who does want that? And you mentioned... He said a lot more than that, though. That was disturbing and very questionable. But yeah, like I agree. Like the echo chambers are what is controlling the conversation. A lot of people have a preconceived notion of you before they even get to know you. You know, and my thing was, the only thing like I didn't understand everybody was jumping my ass about was I didn't think he was a good man. I knew nothing about him. I just knew the man got unalived in front of his wife and kids. And to me, that was the most fucked up shit I could have ever heard of in my life. I never thought high of the dude or low of the dude. Never thought anything of the dude. Like, you know, I reacted to some of the things on here, but you can be a conservative. You can have a conservative opinion. It's different from mine. So, you know what I mean? That doesn't necessarily make you evil, you know? But, yeah, I like that conversation Joe Rogan had, but I'm out, y'all. Peace.